Hello there, how are you doing? Joe Barnes here and welcome to another episode of Make It Happen Monday. And I want to start today's episode with a question. Put your hands in the air if you love copywriting. And what I mean by copywriting is any content that you need to write that ends with somebody taking an action, ends with asking somebody to take an action. So it might be a blog post where you're asking them to do something at the end of the blog post. It might be a landing page. It might be a sales page. It might be script for a video. It might be a webinar that you're hosting. It could be emails. It could be posts on social media. Anything at all where your content ends in a call to action is a type of copywriting. Yeah, that's kind of what it is. So anyway, hands in the air, who loves it? Because if you're anything like me, clearly I can't see your hands, so I have no idea if there are any hands popping up right now. But this is leading somewhere, I promise. If you're anything like me, then your hand did not go up in the air. You can see my hand is firmly not in the air right now because I have struggled over the years with copyright, and I mean really struggled. When it comes to writing sales pages, when it comes to writing email campaigns, landing page copy, anything at all where I'm supposed to be thinking about the neuro-linguistic programming elements in order to get somebody to take action. You know, what is it that motivates somebody to click that button? What's the pain points that make somebody want to click that, yes, I'm going to take action button, blah, blah, blah. And I've really struggled with that because in case you haven't noticed through my videos, I'm a very kind of as it comes kind of gal, So that real structure of sitting down and trying to figure out how to put that copy, and clearly I'm not the only one because copywriters charge thousands for their service. It's a real skill to write really, really good copy. Hence why copywriters can command an awful lot of money for what they do. So I think I'm going to be right in saying that I'm probably going to be connecting with quite a few people here right now who are probably going to say, do you know what, Joe, I'm not that keen on it. And those of you who are out there saying, yeah, I absolutely love it, fantastic, good for you, you've got a skill there, hone it. But anyway, this was up until I was listening to a podcast the other day. Now, this all came about because I was writing some emails for a new funnel coming out, and I was procrastinating. You're not the only one. I was totally procrastinating. I kept putting them off, and I knew it's because I was writing copy. And I listened to a podcast. I'm going to put the link underneath this video because it was such a good podcast that I think you'll really enjoy. Hosted by James Schramko, who is just phenomenal from Superfast Business. He is awesome. And he had a guest on there called Daniel Levis, who is like a copywriting guru. He's been trained by the best of the best. And the podcast is, 45 minutes, an hour long, so you can have a listen to it. But what I took out of it, which is why I wanted to make today's video, the biggest thing I took out of it was the power of storytelling and how you should turn your content into stories, right? And it's crazy because we kind of all know this, don't we? But sometimes you need that reminder. You need to listen to something for it to kind of, the penny to drop and for you to go, oh yeah, of course. Why don't I make my content more about storytelling? And the thing is there's elements to getting people to consume your content. Educate, entertain, educate, inform. I think they're the three main ones. Well, I'm talking about entertaining. What if you made entertaining somebody your number one priority? And I walked away from this podcast and I sat down with these emails and I thought, right, I'm not going to write copy, I'm going to forget copy, I'm going to forget NLP, I'm going to forget everything that I'm supposed to have learned, and I'm simply going to tell stories in these emails. Now, not only, right, I haven't tested them yet, so I can't tell if they've worked, but not only did reading the emails back to me make them so much better to read, so much nicer, so much more personable, so less pitchy, all of that. But also they became so much more enjoyable to write. I really enjoyed the process of sitting there writing stories, yeah? And I had a couple of blog posts to do as well, and I did exactly the same thing. And the blog post turned from, sort of fairly boring, static posts with information to something so much more easier to consume, fun to consume, entertaining, So that's what today's video is about. How can you turn all of your copy, all of your posts, all of your blog posts, everything you write into stories? I mean, literally imagine if you have children, this is going to come a bit easier, but imagine you're sitting down at night and you're telling your child a story. You know, it's so much more fun, isn't it? We all love stories. You know, whether it's movies or we listen to radio or we read the news or whatever. I mean, we all love stories. And here's the key, here's the real key with this, is if you're thinking, well, yeah, but what about getting people to take action, Joe? It's all good and well telling people a story and them getting entertained, but don't we need all that NLP stuff and everything for them to actually click the button and take the action? Well, here's the thing. If you can get people to consume your content, to actually read what it is you are writing or posting or recording, yeah, then there is more chance they will take action. The key is consumption. The more they consume, the more they engage, the more chance they will take action, NLP or no NLP. They will take action. If you're sitting there thinking, what is she going on about NLP? It's neuro-linguistic programming, and it's what all the sort of copywriting gurus teach you to press the right buttons to get people to do stuff. So with or without trickery, you will get people to take more action and, you know, actually do stuff if they have actually consumed your content. So your challenge for this week, should you choose to accept it, is step 1. Go through all the content that you've got to create right now, list out all the different things you need to do. Step 2, go through and ask yourself, how can I create a little story out of that? And I'm not talking about princesses and dragons. This video, for instance, when we started, I started by asking people out there who loves copywriting, and then I told you a bit of a story about how I've been struggling with it, you know, and all the rest of it. So storytelling comes in many different forms, but it just means rather than just out and out there giving a load of facts, actually kind of cloaking everything you're doing in a nice little story that entertains and grabs people's attention. So step 1, grab a list of your content, know what it is you want to create. Step 2, think about how you can create a nice little story around what you're doing. Step 3, get out there and do it. Just make it happen. Try it. Test it. Try it. Test and measure. Test and measure. Test and measure. Anyway, the podcast is below this video if you want to listen to it further, want to learn more about this further from the guys that I was listening to. And just thank you very much for watching today's episode. I hope that this has been entertaining and educational and informative. Do please come and have a chat with me in the comments section below and share with your friends, subscribe to get updates directly in your inbox. And of course, most importantly, have a most productive, phenomenal, fantastic week. And of course, make it happen. See you again next week. Take care. Bye-bye.